Many years ago in 1762, a man called Jacques Rousseau told us life on earth was a social contract with the government. And he famously said that man is born free and everywhere he is in chains. But I never signed the paperwork to this contract, and I do not consent. I don't consent to your warfare. I do not consent to terrorism, abuse, deception, your monkeypox infection. Any consent I unwittingly gave in this or any other lifetime, I now revoke in all dimensions of time. I do not consent. I do not consent. I do not consent to the Epsteins and Weinsteins. You've turned a beautiful world into a harrowing crime scene. I do not consent to Bill Gates or the weaponized fear that keeps us in a low vibrational state. I do not consent. I do not consent. I do not consent to the dimming of the sun and the poison in our food or the killing of our fun. I do not consent to Israeli domination over the Palestinians. I do not consent to your cold Darwinian interpretation. I do not consent to your greed, predictive programming, your billionaire's creed. I do not consent to the abuse of Mother Earth or abuse of animals, of humans, of anything of worth. I do not consent to your psycho ways, systemic deprivation, starvation, pandemic creations, vaccine profiteering, and truth assassination. I do not consent to gaslighting, manufactured fighting, mass formation, psychosis from being under hypnosis, transhumanism or political schisms. I do not consent to DARPA and MK Ultra. You can keep your damn cult up. I do not consent to the we wherefore when agendas, which portends one heck of a controlling bender. I do not consent to genetic testing, to cruelty against animals or humanity, to particle colliders or any attempts to unravel reality. I do not consent to Area 51 or the withholding of UFO disclosure. We know that aliens are here, the lies are over. I do not consent to animal tests, to treating man like machine and crushing our protests. I do not consent to anything that goes against Mother Earth. I do not consent to your satanic worship and your flea-bitten murky overlordship. You can keep your half-chewed hell god, your bull god, anything that isn't the real God. I do not consent to corporatization and homogenization of every person in every single nation. I do not consent to your predatory exploitation of any innovation. I do not consent to reptilians terraforming our civilization. I do not consent to your sticking a dollar sign on every living thing, building bunkers underground while you burn it all down. I didn't sign a contract for any of this, and I do not consent. Please extend my good wishes to your creepy owl god at Bohemian Grove. But I won't be participating today. Sincerely, not yours, a concerned human. I do not consent with this barbarity, inhumanity.